Alrighty, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex Widdick and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is 7 a.m. the earliest I've woken up, honestly, in months. Usually I'm still sleeping because I edit so late at night. Giancarlo is heading out to work in the Stage 2 Audi A4. That thing is awesome, all carboned out. Guys, we're gonna get started on today's video, so let's jump right into it. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead, subscribe. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you throw it a like. All right, now that I fixed the camera and the exposure is no longer at +2 like the intro, over here I got the box with the spring perches in it, which we're gonna be installing into the rear. And then over here, we got the sway bar end links. These are a little bit shorter than stock. Here are the new ones that we're gonna be installing. They're about 1.5 to 2 inches shorter. I'm not really exactly sure on the exact dimensions of them, but they're a little bit shorter since the car is still gonna be lower. But one of the things I've been learning and I've been watching on YouTube is if you want to be able to drive in the woods, take corners and stuff, well, obviously you need a sway bar, but you're going to need the suspension to be a lot stiffer. And right now that suspension is maxed out to its lowest and it's also at its stiffest on the dampening. So I want to be able to lift the car, put the dampening to the very softest and work on from there. But I do want this car to really handle, and right now it handles like crap. And it also is so low that when it hit bumps, it bottoms out every single time in the rear. And that is not okay with me. I need a couple more inches of play in the rear, and in the front, I've smacked the lip so many times, and I've smacked the subframe so many times, and I'm done with that. That is not this car's purpose, so let's get the old girl at least 1.5 inches higher in the front and about 2 inches higher in the rear, and then I'll be happy. I want to take this thing on back roads in the mornings. I haven't even been on my morning drives because it's not fun to drive on the back roads. I'm being honest, so let's send it. Definitely not working outside, even though it's 7 a.m. It is already 85 degrees. It's super hot. For all you people living in Florida, like Adam or Rudnick, I feel bad for you guys. I truly do, because even up here in New Jersey, we are working in the garage at 7 o'clock in the morning. But I'm gonna pull Mama K's X1 out of the garage, and we're gonna pull the good old Mark 6 into the garage and work on a nice level spot, and it's cooler in here. So let's pull this X1 out. So the Mark 6, as you guys can see, it's actually really low for a daily, and for what this car is intentionally going to be used for, way too low. So it's super sick, but it's not for me. So let's bring it into the garage and let's get this thing jacked up and let's raise it a bunch. Maybe not a bunch, but a good amount, just so it's better for driving. Look at the Mark 5 just chilling. All right, so we got all the doors closed, we got all the LEDs on that I installed in the winter time. Back when I had like 500 subscribers, we ran out, we got all LEDs. We did this whole bay in LEDs because it gets dark at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the winter in New Jersey. So now that we're all set up, the car's actually on a huge angle just so I can work with more room. And yeah, we're just gonna raise it up. We're gonna raise the front first, and then we're gonna raise the back. And I think we're gonna have to take the wheels off for this one, obviously. So let's just get to it. All right, so before we go ahead and actually jack this car up and take the wheel off, I just want to measure this, and that is sitting at exactly 4 inches. So now we have a basis to go off of. Let's raise the car up. I'm going for I want to be at least 5 inches in the front, maybe a little more. Once we hook up that sway bar and lift this car, it's going to drive so much better, and it's really not going to, you're not going to notice that 1 inch, especially with the front splitter. So let's get to it. All right, perfect. Now that I got the wheel off, I can go ahead and go into the wheel well where I have these 2 locking rings, and then you have the spring perch itself. We want to spin this clockwise, and that's going to push the whole entire spring up, and now we have no weight underneath here. This is going to drop down, and then we'll be able to lift the car. So let's get right to it. It's a super simple process. I'm literally just taking this small wrench, spinning it like this for the next probably 10 minutes. That went super well. Lots of brake dust on my hands from spinning the coil over, but now that it's all seated the way I want it to be, I got that 1 inch gap, a little bit more than 1 inch. I actually just used the wrench itself. I took the body, I put the body in between, I saw the gap, so now I can match up both sides and they can be exactly the same. So now we're gonna go ahead, throw the sway bar end links in there, and let's get to it. I actually had to take this piece of wood and then lower the car jack a little bit just so I can get the sway bar to move, so I can get the sway bar end link into its spot on the coilover. But now it looks like we'll be able to just slide it right in, so. That was simple enough. Got both of them tightened up. Then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the rear now, and we're gonna install these spring perches. Already got the wheel all mounted on. We're about to lower this thing. Let's see what we did. Today's Instagram shout out goes to Josh Dury. If you guys want to have the chance to have your Instagram shout out, all you got to do is put today's hashtag, which is hashtag trending, and leave your Instagram down below, and you'll have the chance to have your Instagram shouted out. And today's like goal is 500 likes, so run it up, boys. Like the video if you enjoy. Now I'm gonna go back inside into the garage where there's a nice AC cooling it off. So here I go. Oh, perfect. I'm loving that gap. I really want to replicate the same exact gap in the rear. So we are gonna be mounting the spring perches. Let's get to it and check it out, and then we'll measure the front to see how much we changed it. All right, so it turns out I'm actually gonna have to remove the shock so that this can lower down and I can install the spring perch, which is no big deal. We would get more shock travel anyway. I thought we were gonna be able to rip this out and just add that, but I'm gonna have to remove this real quick, and then we'll be back in business and we'll install this. I'm so excited to add all this height to the car. I mean, you guys might not be, but this is good. I'm so close to getting this spring finally back in here on the perch, but it's giving me some issues, and I could not figure out how to get this thing down anymore. I was putting my foot on here, trying to just bash it down as far as I could. Then I decided to do this extension job, so I put an extension on one of the wheel bolts, and I'm pulling this down. I'm gonna stand on it. We're gonna get that spring in. Let's get this all back together. Alrighty, I am one happy guy right now. Everything is all looking good in here. I just gotta tighten up this little collar. But we got that spring perch in there with the spring, and the car is now raised up a couple more inches, just like that, nice and tight. I'm really excited, so let's get this car all lowered on the ground. First, we gotta put on the wheel, and then let's lower on the ground. Alrighty, the moment of truth, we are about to lower this thing and check out that gap. And before I do that, guys, I just want to say I hope you're enjoying the video. I hope the stress in your day is maybe being relieved a little bit, and I hope you guys got a smile on right now. Let's check out this wheel gap. Let's stay excited. Here we go. Oh my, yes! Perfect. A 2-finger gap, a 1.5 finger gap. Before it was tucking, and I swear every single time I hit a pothole, it would just completely smack. So I'm gonna go head on over to the other side, do that side, and then we'll pull the car out of the garage and we'll check out how it looks outside. Ooh, and we gotta even measure how high off the front lip is. So let's go to the other side. Before we go ahead and raise this side, I did want to remind you guys how low the car truly is in the front here and how low it is in the rear here. Compared to the front now on the driver's side and the rear on the driver's side. All right, so the front driver's side is all done. The sway bar end link is all in there. So all we gotta do is put the wheel back on and then go ahead and measure the other side to see how much higher we actually lifted the car. Dang, it still looks low. It's looking meaty. Now let's go ahead and take that tape measure to see how high we really raised the car. Looks like we raised it 1.25 inches, which is honestly really good. I'm hyped on that. Now I can actually drive my car like I wanted to. Because like I said, the purpose for this car is to be able to take corners, to drive back roads, and to make power. So we got to make power soon, but yeah, raising this car up, softening the dampening, I'm just too ecstatic. So let's pull this out of the garage and check it out. Still an amazing height, honestly really dailyable now, and it's still super low in the front. Like, look at that. And with that new splitter, if you guys didn't see the video of the splitter install, that's the last video. It's down in the description. I have it linked down below. The rear is looking amazing, and it had tucking fitment before, so now that it's level with the fenders, it looks so good. I'm super hyped on it. Just look at it. Would you just look at it? Oh yeah, she looks meaty, boys. I'm interested to see how it feels when I pull out of the driveway. That's like my biggest concern right now. And then we'll work from there. We'll go for a little drive. We'll test it out on the back roads. Oh, that feels so much better. There's a lot of cracks in my road. They're just like stress cracks, I guess you could say. And every single time I hit them, even with these stock seats, my back would hurt. And I'm used to a stiff car, and this felt absolutely horrendous. Now that I've got it lifted up a couple inches and I softened the dampeners, it feels amazing. That's a woman in an SRT4 who's like 40 years old. If you're the owner, that's sick, if you watch my videos, but we're gonna hit the back roads now. Coming over the railroad tracks. not bad, super comfy. So I've been taking turns driving this thing, and I am super happy with my decision on raising an 1.5 inches. The suspension travels way more, and it's a no-brainer for me for the performance and stuff. So eating these corners up. I miss being able to drive this thing. It drives so much better now that it's a little bit lower to the ground. It doesn't have as much body roll because of the suspension. This is awesome. All right, well, now that we are home, backing up into the spot, getting super close to the TT. That thing drove completely amazing. I know you guys can see from pulling into the driveway, we have a lot more clearance. 1 inch does a lot, and it feels like a lot. It literally felt like stock suspension. I was super hyped on it. So let's hop out, check if the suspension settled, and see what's going on. So it looks like this is where we're gonna wind up for now. Suspension height-wise, I'm really liking it. I'm digging it. It still looks aggressive. I got a wave from a Volkswagen person, so I guess the front splitter and the lowered car, they notice now. I've never been noticed in my daily, so it's really cool, but now it looks awesome. I'm super hyped on it. The back looks awesome. It looks super good next to the TT. A bunch of you guys were commenting that I should get a front splitter for the TT as well, so maybe that's in the works. If you guys know a splitter that you want me to throw on this car, throw the link down below, and I'll definitely check it out, maybe even purchase it. But guys, that's gonna be a wrap on today's video. I hope you enjoyed. We're on the road to 50K, so make sure you guys are subscribed. Throw down any comments or suggestions that you guys think I should do with this car, or what I did wrong, or what I should do different. Throw the video a like if you enjoyed. Remember, always comment down below what kind of cars you guys are working on. I love hearing about those projects. And just remember to keep smiling. Don't even put you down about your car, and just keep doing you. You guys are awesome, we're awesome, and we're a freaking family, and we are growing. So guys, on that note, I'm gonna head out. Peace out. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.